Savor the flavor responsibly.
Jalen and Jacoby is presented by Samuel Adams.
He is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We give the people what they want.
We have more chaos with the Cowboys, Cam Newton's career on the line, and some interesting insight into Habib's submission of Justin Gaethje. But we start with Monday Night Football. Battle of two great defenses, but it was the Rams' defenses that dominated the day. What did you see from Donald and company?
You said it. What did I see? I saw their front four getting pressure, led by Aaron Donald. I also saw Jalen Ramsey being physical out there playing corner, stopping guys from getting first downs, getting pickoffs because he was in the right place at the right time. I saw a Rams team that morphed itself into going from a squad that we figured was going to be a team that beat you by being cute offensively. And yeah, they're going to do a lot of sweeps and they're going to have Goff throw it all over the lot when they can. But they actually won with their physicality and their defense, and that was impressive.
I think you make a good point. And you remember a couple years ago, we thought this team was Goff and Gurley and McVay sort of as a mad scientist drawing up all these offensive plays and they would outscore you. But they have completely morphed into a team that relies on defense, and not just defense, Jalen, but also special teams. The MVP of this game, and maybe the Rams' whole season, is my guy, the punter. It is Johnny Hekker's day, and he deserves to be celebrated. Hekker had not one, not two, not three, but five punts all down in the Bears, below the Bears' 10-yard line. Jalen, is it fair to say that of all football players that dressed yesterday, Hekker had the best day of all of them?
I wish we could get a bulletin list of all of the people that you call your guys. I bet that they could be on the wall right behind you, and I love it so very much.
Not enough room.
Special teams are a unique but very important part of the game that most people always seem to overlook, because now all of a sudden you don't see kickoff returns. You don't see as many punt returns for touchdowns. So people just dismiss special teams until all of a sudden somebody misses an extra point or somebody misses a field goal. And field position is always key. If you're pinning them inside of the 10, like this punter was doing, it absolutely allows the pass rush to pin their ears back and put pressure on Foles. And a lot of people are going to wake up today and be mad at Foles and be mad at the Bears offense. I get it. But take it from somebody who roots for a team that plays in their division. You ready for this, David? You really ready for this? Offense has never been the Bears' calling card, national media. Don't wake up today, start talking about, the Bears offense. Y'all ain't been watching them play. Don't let Gale Sayers and Walter Payton and Hallis and Ditka fool you. Basically, since the 80s, all of the best things that have been about the Bears has been their physicality on defense. Singletary, Richard Dent, Urlacher. That's their calling card for a team that still plays outdoors in the Midwest. So, yes, you want to see their offense under Foles play a lot better. But when you look at their tight end position, their wide receiver position, that team is basically predicated on their defense always being able to get stops.
You are right. Offense is not the calling card of the Bears, but I'm not going to let them off the hook. This was a terrible offensive performance, and also Montgomery had 48 yards rushing. This is their fourth straight game with less than 60 yards rushing. Now, they do rely on their defense to win games, and it is hard when you're pinned underneath your 10 in seemingly every possession, but still, they need to do better getting yards on the ground. You can't have 4 straight games with less than 60 yards and expect to win football games and go deep into the playoffs, as this Bears team now wants to do with their high expectations. Now, Jalen, of course, because this is ESPN, we're going to talk about the Cowboys because they always give us something to talk about. First, it was Stephen Jones saying that he was so confident in the coaching staff that they have in place. And then it was Jerry Jones who went on the radio and got a little testy when asked about the lack of leadership in the Big D. Let's listen.
We've got to correct this. We've got to correct it. We'll change some personnel for sure. What I am confident is, and I'll really kind of have a note here in big red head letters, one of the without a question, the reasons that Mike McCarthy is the coach is because he's been through it. And he's had tough times, and he's had disappointing times. Certainly, we couldn't have anticipated being at this stage with our team this year. But if I were going to hire a head coach, that we're going to be at this stage this year and work through this for the betterment of what's in store for us for the rest of the year and for what's for us in the future, I got my man.
He also got testy with the host of that radio show later. So he said, I've got my man. We've got our guy. Jalen, do you buy the confidence that the Jones family is giving Mike McCarthy at this point in the season?
See, here's the disconnect. Jerry Jones does have his guy. The problem is the 53 players in uniform aren't performing for your guy. That's the disconnect. If you watch this show, you knew who the Cowboys' next head coach was going to be before it was at the bottom of the ticker because I told you. And you know, Jacoby, one of my favorite people and coaches of all time is Jimmy Johnson. And he's still not in the Ring of Honor. Ever since he left, Jerry Jones has decided he's going to hire a coach as well as be the GM where if they win, he's going to be the loudest voice in the room and take all of the credit. And so Mike McCarthy does fit this motto. Jason Garrett did fit this motto. You think he's going to fire him after 6 weeks? When he didn't fire Jason Garrett, when people thought he should have fired him the last 5 or 6 years, he's not going to admit that he made a mistake. He said when he's in the locker room, he doesn't see a leadership void on the team. That's the disconnect. The players walk past the coach to talk to you because you're the face of the franchise. You're the mouth of the locker room. You talking about it's going to be personnel changes? Is that what I heard him say?
I heard that too.
What personnel changes are you going to make?
You don't have any salary cap space. What are you going to do,
Jerry?
sir? Yeah, you're going to trade somebody? What are you going to do, Mr. Jones?
Exactly.
Elaborate on that, please, sir. I don't see what he's going to do.
Exactly.
And Jalen,
so he's now doubled down on a situation that already was going bad.
There's no chance that they let go of Mike McCarthy at this point in the season because we always say success is a function of realistic expectations, and expectations for the Cowboys were much higher than they're performing right now. However, when Dak goes down and Ben DiNucci is playing quarterback, the expectations go down to the floor. So Mike McCarthy can always point to Dak going down and say, that's why this season we're 6-10 or we're 4-12. And then he will get another chance at this job because Jerry Jones isn't exactly quick to pull his head coaches. Oh, no, they're not making the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. And also, I do want to know, Jerry Jones, what personnel changes are you talking about making?
They in.
I want to follow up to that. Jerry Jones, what personnel changes do you think you are making? We will keep an eye on that moving forward. However, it was the eye of defensive coordinator Mike Nolan that was under siege during a press conference. I can't wait for you to see this tape.
Obviously, the frustration for him as well is just, look, when he misses them, nobody, excuse me, I got something in my eye. Just had some Tabasco on my finger and it went in my eye. That wasn't good. Oh. Never good.
Anyone that's ever had hot sauce in their eye. I had some sriracha in my eye one time. I swear I wanted to call 911 to go to the hospital. Hot sauce in the eye is terrible, but it is a good microcosm of what's happening with this Cowboys season. There is hot sauce in the eye of the Cowboys this season. They can't even beat condiments in a game. Your thoughts, Mr. Rose?
Here's my thoughts. Okay. The game just ended, right? The game just ended. That's a post-game press conference, right?
I do not believe so. I think this is from
Or
yesterday.
is that a post-practice? Okay, so if that's a post-practice press conference, that means you went and ate before you talked to the media. First off.
Now he can't eat? Now he can't eat? My man can't eat right now? That's what we're doing? We're criticizing his eating schedule?
I didn't say that he could not eat. I'm just talking about the chain of command normally works when you finish practice. That's when you handle your media obligations, Jacoby. That's all. So he did go eat because they have a $1 billion facility. I'm pretty sure they got 15,000 chefs there. But what was in his eye was that it got dotted by every offense that he's played against and coordinated this year. That's what's been in his eye.
His eyes have seen so much destruction.